Hi everyone. Hi Ioannis. Can you hear
Hey,
me?
of course. Can you hear me? All set then.
Yes, loud and clear. Let's give everyone like 2 minutes to join, and then we will kick off. So for everybody tuning in right now, we are giving everybody 2 more minutes to join. So we will be right back. Awesome. So it's 6:30. Let's kick off. Welcome everyone, and again, thanks for joining this space event. Today we have our own Ioannis Vlachos at this event to talk about one of Energy Web's solutions related to digital identities and asset management. Ioannis, I'm sure we are all very excited after last space event to learn more about the other solutions like digital identities and asset management. So please, the stage is yours.
Thanks, Daniel. Hi, everyone. My name is Ioannis Vlachos, and I'm the Commercial Director of Energy Web for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Hope you all hear me loud and clear. And if this is the case, then you can follow me on Twitter using the handle IVLACHO. It is also in the event message. So, before jumping into the details of digital identities and asset management solution, I think it is important to explain how decentralized solutions support and foster actually the energy transition. So, from a power engineer perspective, the main barrier for the acceleration of the energy transition is mainly related to the way that energy markets are currently structured. The regulatory requirement in most countries worldwide requires that small scale energy assets, flexibility assets, such as residential batteries or electric vehicles, heat pumps, and other assets participate in energy markets only via their representation by an aggregator. So if we consider a more direct market design where flexible assets in the future, irrespectively of their size and capacity, can directly bid into an energy market, this will minimize their marginal costs and will promote and foster the participation of these small scale assets in energy markets. So there is exactly this need for the direct participation of assets in markets that was identified and considered to be an overarching principle in the joint report with the title Roadmap on the Evolution of Regulatory Framework for Distributed Flexibility by ENTSO-E. ENTSO-E is the association of all the European TSOs, as well as from the European associations representing all the distribution system operators, that was published almost a year ago, back in June 2021, where we see for the first time in an official policy document the following phrase: access to all markets for all assets, either directly or aggregated. So this word directly is, I think, where all the essence of what we are building at Energy Web is. This is exactly where blockchain technology comes into play. Blockchain technology, via the concept of decentralized identifiers and verifiable credentials and self-sovereign identities, of course, provides the necessary tools to allow this direct access of small-scale distributed energy resources into energy markets. And starting with SSI, the self-sovereign identity, is actually a growing paradigm that promotes individual control over identity data rather than relying on any external authority. And this is the true meaning of decentralization and democratization, where we're talking about the energy system. So this is in contrast to the current paradigm, where most exchanges of identity data rely on communication and trust with an external, often centralized authority. So decentralized identifiers, DIDs, and verifiable credentials, VCs, are two of the most important components of the SSI. So in a nutshell, a DID is an identifier, is a digital identifier that can be generated and controlled by individuals or organizations without the need of an external authority. And this DID can be used to identify any subject, such as, for example, a non-tangible asset, a customer, or an organization. So that's its purpose. And DIDs are typically generated and controlled via private public key cryptography. This allows, of course, the binding between public key and identifier to be verified without any external certification. So this is the essence of decentralization. Moreover, a verifiable credential, a VC, is a secure and, above all, machine verifiable digital credential which respects a standard data model. So together with DIDs, verifiable credentials allow users and organizations to have control over their own identities. And this is very, very important if we're talking about decentralized energy markets. So instead of having an external authority maintaining control over your identifier and your associated identity data, any individual or asset can create their own identity and then establish any sort of credential over time through interactions with peers or authorities on a trusted decentralized network. So coming now to the asset management side of things, this is why digital identities are at the heart of our asset management solution. And our enterprise asset management solution is built around the W3C decentralized identifier standard. So we are following an open standard to build our solutions, which is very, very important. So examples of existing real world implementations include from identity and access management solution, California ISO Flex Alert system that we built earlier this year, and our work with Vodafone, as well as our work with Keegan Core Wireless that we have presented in the past. So from our perspective and from an asset management perspective, digital identities may be one of the most disruptive concepts when applied to the energy sector. Digital identities implemented via the notion of decentralized identifiers, the DIDs, allow assets, systems, and any energy market participant to hold their own self-sovereign identities. And this is truly unique, and this is the pure essence of decentralization. So by themselves, SSI, self-sovereign identities, allow any asset, system, or actor to represent itself in an energy market. And this is the most important thing, in an end-to-end verifiable manner. So anyone can verify by themselves the claims made around a certain identity. This allows, for example, assets holding a DID to send an offer for a service, for example, for a flexibility service to a decentralized energy market, and the receiving end to be in the position by itself to verify in a cryptographically and trusted way the source of the offer, the message that the offer has, and the fact that this message has not been modified in between by a malicious third party. So the biggest challenge here is how now you assign digital identities to energy assets such as smart meters, smart inverters in a way that is both secure, but because we're discussing about commercial applications here, in a cost efficient manner, right? So so it is, I think, important to mention at this stage our recent collaboration with Kigen, one of the world's biggest SIM card OEMs, and Core Wireless, a US listed stock exchange IoT service provider, and Energy Web. So what was the focus of this collaboration? We announced that a few months ago. So the focus of this collaboration is to solve the challenge of assigning digital identities to assets. And this is the core, I think, and the enabler of a decentralized energy markets. So taking also into account the fact that starting, for example, from your smart meter, right? An increasing number of energy assets right now rely on GSM network, on your mobile network for their communication with any backend system. So finding a way to include a DID directly into the SIM card of an asset is itself a breakthrough for the industry, for Energy Web, and for the parties that collaborated on this, because it allows in a straightforward, open, and cost-efficient manner to have an identity in every single asset without changing anything on the hardware side. So in a nutshell, what Kigen, Core Wireless, and Energy Web developed is an open source software kit for embedding digital identities to SIM cards and thus to any asset by leveraging, again, an open standard from the GSM Association, the IoT Safe Open Standard. So this solution, with a close collaboration with OEMs like smart meter manufacturer or distribution automation equipment manufacturers, is expected to significantly accelerate the energy transition and democratize and decentralize the way energy markets are currently designed and operate. And this brings us also to one of our flagship projects related to asset management, which is the IoT cybersecurity project we jointly developed and delivered with Stedin, the Dutch distribution system operator. In the first phase that was successfully concluded a few months ago, Energy Web worked hand in hand with Stedin to deploy a future-proof solution for managing energy assets. This asset base includes DSO native devices such as smart meters and distribution automation devices, as well as consumer-prosumer devices, commonly referred to as distributed energy resources. As part of this collaboration, Energy Web and Stedin work together to build a decentralized asset management system, which was initially tested on devices currently owned by Stedin, and in the subsequent phases will be tested on intelligent electronic devices for substation automation. So through the initial tests, Stedin and Energy Web gained valuable insights into how decentralization can help with the management of future grid assets. And as already mentioned, the next phase of the project foresee to test the ability of grid operators also to maintain grid security without requiring any hardware changes. So we build at the same time an asset management solution that also adds a cybersecurity layer on the existing cybersecurity infrastructure in place by Stedin. And Cybersecurity of energy-related assets, I think it's of paramount importance in the evolving energy market environment. Therefore, modern distribution system operators are experiencing increasing challenges as a result of the decentralization of their distribution network. So technology that was previously and assets that were previously located within the physical perimeter of the substations, including, for example, monitoring equipment, is now spread across the distribution network as the number of DERs, including wind turbines, photovoltaic, and electric vehicle increases. The next phases of this joint energy web steading solution comprises a management system which assigns each distribution asset a secure and unique digital identity anchored on the pre-existing SIM cards that exist in its asset. And then cryptographically signed information and control signals and commands from the DSO can be sent to and from the asset, enabling a true decentralized managed system, while ensuring at the same time that each asset operates as an independent point of encrypted security. And needless to say that this solution leverages energy web technology with no additional hardware or swapping out of any other component. And to conclude with this project, this asset management solution is expected to enable in the future new avenues, not only for the DSOs, but also for the consumers to offer services to the grid as issuing digital identities to consumer DRs makes it possible. So it will be your smart meter, your electric vehicle that will offer additional ancillary services to your DSO and the TSO. So with the numerous possibilities and programs which could be powered by Energy Web decentralized architecture, the integration not only with Steading, but also the integration with other assets, energy assets, has the potential to transform the electricity market and the local economies where applied. And talking about projects, I think it is important also to mention here our efforts as Energy Web, not only on the commercial side, but also looking ahead, let's say 10 and 20 years in the future, what are, let's say, our research and innovation views. So one important thing that I have to highlight is the fact that since September last year, less than a year from now, Energy Web is also actively involved in research and innovation activities and projects, mainly funded under the Horizon Europe Framework Program. Just for your information, Horizon Europe is the European Union's new ambitious research and innovation program that runs until 2027, with a rolling number of calls for proposals. The budget is extremely high, so we are talking about 95 billion euros. I will repeat that, 95 billion euros will be available for innovation. So Horizon Europe is an ambitious funding program for research and innovation, and its main features are strengthening science and technology in the European Union, promoting EU's industrial competitiveness and its innovation performance, and last but not least, achieving EU's strategic priorities such as Paris Climate Agreement and addressing all global challenges that affect the quality of the people living in EU. You are probably aware of our first Horizon Europe project, Omega X, that will build a European data space for energy across Europe. So the Omega X project runs from May 1st, 2022 this year till April 30, 2025, and was officially kicked off on May this year in Bilbao, in Spain. This 3 years project is led by one of the top companies, industrial partners in Europe, Atos, in collaboration with a consortium of 30 partners from 11 different countries, including universities, cities, and key players from the energy sector. So the Omega X project includes setting up 4 use cases that will showcase the value of having a common data space infrastructure for energy. And these 4 use case families are renewables. So this use case will focus around having renewable plant owners and service providers to optimize operation and maintenance in order to increase renewable energy resources availability and reducing CO2 footprint. The second family of use cases relates to local energy communities. It's all about exploiting data from different energy vectors to optimize the overall performance of a local energy community instead of optimizing each vector individually. Third use case pillar is around electromobility. So it's about demonstrating how data sharing can ease and scale up services such as booking and building innovative services such as cross-border self-consumption of renewable energy, green charging, and so on. It will involve the electricity system from charging points to the DSO up to the transmission system operator in different EU countries. And last but not least, a very hot topic, which is flexibility. And the project aims to demonstrate the performance upgrade that can be achieved for the flexibility identification and provision of flexibility at the local and municipality level when service providers can have access to extended data sets from multiple origins. But our activities around asset management and not only do not stop here. And I would like here to just share with you some numbers and some exciting news with you all to show the work that Energy Web team have put on securing funding and collaborations under the Horizon Europe umbrella. So we are proud to announce that we have won and secured the related funding for another 5 new research and innovation projects. Of course, details about the exact project scope and involved partners will be shared and announced with the community in the next few months, if not earlier. But I can give you already some general information. So in one of the projects that we already won, the goal is to create a flexibility ecosystem, reducing all the interoperability barriers and favoring the use of standards in order to decarbonize European grids and put the end user, the prosumer, in the spotlight. So we'll have grid operators, prosumers, market actors to be supported by innovative methodologies backed by advanced and at the same time interoperable software modules based mainly on Energy Web decentralized infrastructure. The project will also evolve, adapt, and integrate Energy Web's blockchain as the core component of the project that will serve as a distributed, fast, and reliable energy data space in which actors from different fields will share services and find synergies among them in order to create a reliable energy system in which different verticals like electromobility, OEMs, but at the same time, not only electricity, but at the same time, gas will be able to seamlessly collaborate with each other. And this project is quite big. We're talking about a 10 million euro project that will be demonstrated in 4 different countries, including Greece, Slovenia, Spain, and Switzerland. And it foresees to create benefits for more than 26,000 citizens and is expecting to reduce 91 million tons of CO2 equivalent of greenhouse gas emissions, and of course reduce energy poverty by 30% by 2032. So this is the first one. Now let's move to some more information on our second project that aims to develop an energy storage toolkit. So this is about building a complete framework of methodologies, tools, and technologies that will enable the green integration of innovative energy storage solutions beyond state of the art, while at the same time it's going to demonstrate sustainability and technical performance, lifetime, independency of geographical particularities, and of course, cost. So the project will develop successful energy storage business cases and systems and deploy them in innovative and green energy system at different scales and timeframes. The project will target the effective integration of innovative energy storage system and different value chains at the interface of renewable energies and specific demand sectors while ensuring compatibility of systems, standards of distributed energy storage systems. So in this project, Energy Web will provide its enterprise asset management solution to create the required energy asset registries. Again, we're talking about a very large project that will have 6 pilot demonstrators that will take place in Portugal, Spain, Germany, Greece, and Switzerland, while a detailed scalability and replicability analysis will prove also that this project and the innovations around this project have a wider impact at the pan-European level. Now, the third project will focus on the deployment of integrated energy services across different energy sectors. This one mainly focuses on energy efficiency and will use tokenization of energy performance contracts in a public blockchain facilitated by the Energy Web chain, of course, to allow cooperation among market segments and actors. Particular attention in this project will be placed on the development of concrete and sustainable business model and contractual schemes that facilitate the implementation of sector integrating smart energy services and the deployment of a wide range of sustainable technologies like renewable energy sources and DRs, electric vehicles, heat pumps, IoT controls, energy efficiency measures. So the project consortium brings together a mixture of market actors like utilities, energy communities, energy agencies, technology providers, with Energy Web being one of them, who engage in trust to create methods to connect their activities through the Energy Web blockchain technology and smart contracts. And in a nutshell, this project aims to facilitate the rollout of new energy service business models on a B2B and B2C basis, connect also smart energy services across different sectors to provide energy efficiency services, demand response services, flexibility, and also promote services around electric mobility. And last but not least, offer the capacity building that is needed to support market actors to replicate these newly defined business models. The fourth project, and we have another one to mention, is a collaborative initiative to prepare the ground for piloting the deployment of something that is promoted heavily by the European Commission, and it's about digital product passports. So this project will focus upon building digital product passports among different sectors like energy, electric and electronics, batteries, textile, and so on. But guess what? Digital battery passport will be one of the core components of this project, and following up, let's say, our successfully completed EasyBat project in the past, Energy Web will have a key role here, providing insights and technology to build the digital passport with a specific focus on digital passport for batteries. So we expect to play a crucial role by providing cross-blockchain interoperability and asset management solutions that are related to digital passports for batteries. Last but not least, our fifth project in line will mainly deploy Energy Web's digital infrastructure to facilitate the development of a national marketplace for second life batteries from EVs. We cannot yet mention the country, but it's one of the leading countries in terms of regulation around batteries and energy in Europe. And we are happy to work with one of the biggest companies that are focusing on second life batteries globally. So as you may notice, we have been heads down over the past months to get involved in multi-million large-scale projects. And of course, I think the most important thing, speaking on behalf of the team of Energy Web, is the fact that we have done that in an efficient manner as well. So just to mention that our project proposal success rate was 63% so far, compared to 12%, that is the EU average success rate, considering the total number of proposals that were submitted and the ones that were finally awarded with the funding. So we're incredibly excited about this from both a technology and impact perspective, and definitely look forward to keeping the Energy Web community informed and engaged in the coming months and years. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions if you have any. And yeah, Daniel, back to you. Thank you.
So, Ioannis, thank you so much. That was super detailed. I can already see some community members on social media sharing Omega X links and Core Keegan links. Um, so we have some questions from the community, and I just want to jump right into it. If you have another minute,
Sure,
the
Daniel. Yeah.
first question is like, how big do you think the markets are for these solutions? Like, is the market big, or do we need to create a market? What is
The,
your opinion?
yeah, the market is already huge, not big. It is already there. You can start by thinking about the hundreds of millions of smart meters that are already installed or are to be installed across Europe. And I'm just focused right now on Europe, right, which is let's say, and Middle East and Africa, which is my area of responsibility. But this is global, right? And we can just start counting smart meters. But of course, then the next thing is EVs. Imagine how the number of EVs in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years. So we know that EVs uptake is huge globally, and especially in Europe, we have with high penetration rates of EVs. We can also start thinking about smart inverters that are connected to PV installations, wind turbines, and so on. So I think, yeah, any energy market, any energy asset that you can think of being, let's say, a commercial related asset like an inverter or an EV, but at the same time, any mission critical asset currently being used by DSOs, like the devices that monitor the quality of electricity on the overhead or underground networks, the fault passage indicators, any sort of distribution automation asset falls that under this category. So I would say all existing assets and any digital asset that will be installed in the next 5 to 10 years in the grid is definitely part of our market segment.
That's awesome. And what about the demand? Is there any real organic demand, or will this be mandated by governments?
No, I think this is one of the few use cases where we have organic demand already, and definitely we will have regulation that will follow. Just to mention that Energy Web already participated successfully in this blockchain machine identity ledger project promoted and fostered by DINA, the German Energy Association, that was about building a decentralized registry of all energy assets in Germany. So the demand is there. We have already seen the main actors of the energy ecosystem starting piloting and testing these solutions. I can name DINA. I can name, for example, Volkswagen, BMW from the OEM side. I can also refer to Elia Group and what we are building with them on the EV dashboard applications and using EVs to balance the grid or allow green charging. Our work with Vodafone and MasterCard, just to name a few, that there is a real use case with an organic demand already in place.
So Ioannis, I'm not sure if you can tell us a little bit more about the current pipeline. If we look at asset management, is there something you can tell us? I know you already hinted towards like the
Yeah.
Omega X challenges, and is there anything else you can tell us? I think everyone is very excited, and yeah, just if there's anything more you can tell us about that.
Uh, sure. To be honest, I can't say too much about specific projects right now until our partners are ready to share them. But I will say that some of the areas that we're currently working in include IoT cybersecurity, SIM centric asset management, and something that is of high priority for us, integration with OEM. So we're discussing with a variety of the big OEMs in the market to integrate our solutions directly into their project. So our vision is like every single smart device, we call them intelligent electronic devices that come out of the factory to be equipped with an identity. And we would be super excited to have this identity anchored on the energy web chain or facilitate any identity system through our, let's say, interoperable blockchain architecture to work there. So we are working on all fronts, Daniel, both on the TSO, DSO at the European level. But yeah, I will be looking very much forward to share more detailed info in the next few months.
Awesome, thank you. And I'm sure everybody's looking forward to get the details about the other projects. Um, so that was the last question. Ioannis, thank you so much for taking the time and giving everyone a detailed explanation. Um, for everyone listening, the recordings will be live after this session, so feel free to go back and listen to it again. And I wish everybody a great evening, morning, depending on where you are on this earth. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.